Hi everybody, I'm Pete Ashbridge, Contact Center Sales Specialist here at Cisco. Thank you for tuning in to our second episode. Today we're going to continue talking about the user interface, more specifically about the kind of rich data, reporting capabilities, and also the tools that are available to agents to empower them to do their jobs daily. Just before I hand over to Mark to do the demo, I would just like to ask you to subscribe to the channel and like the video. And also, if you've got any specific questions for myself, please don't hesitate to reach out. My email address will be in the banner below. Without further ado, I'll hand over to Mark. Mark, over to you.
So next to MB on the top, we've got idle. So we've got an idle. When we actually open up the agent desktop, it puts us into an idle state. It's not until we select available that we will actually have any of those associated channels being presented to an agent. Again, these are all configurable. We just simply, in this type of scenario, shown typically some of the codes that you may be presented. Next to that, we have a notification window. So as a call or an interaction, if there's anything associated to it, say a screen pop, which is providing more information to the agent, then the agent will get notifications that there is some associated information. So interesting enough, we actually, even though we may have logged in using our home number or a mobile number, we're actually controlling that device, that end device, via the keypad. So if the agent needs to make a telephone call, and that may be maybe a free-form number, so we just enter in the telephone number and then present that, and it will make that associated call. Or whether we use the address book that's actually built out specifically for the contact center, we can simply select an individual or dial free-form to then be able to have that call presented to that endpoint of choice. So again, a lot of flexibility in the way we use a platform, the way the platform is actually deployed. So if we look on the left-hand side, so this is the home page, and again, we're seeing it in its dormant state because we're not ready and we haven't actually taken any interactions. So there's a couple of things here that I wanted to point out. So I can minimize and maximize this slider that actually presents to the agent all of the various interactions that they've had through their working shift. So I can see here it's showing me all of the interactions, or I can look at the particular voice calls. What's presented to me is the actual number that was dialed, any associated wrap up, as well as a timestamp. But we can see that for voice calls, we can see that for web chats, we can see that for social interactions, or we can see that for email. And again, it just gives the agent visibility and a tally on where they are during the day. But if they don't need that and they just need more real estate, then they can obviously just collapse that. So as I say, this is the home page. Baked into the application, we have a whole series of reports, and these are reports that are pertinent to the agent, the team that the agent is a member of, and then we can drill in to look at queue statistics to see whether we're seeing calls being backed up in a particular queue or not. So in here, just as a snapshot, I can see total interactions by the team, as well as a breakdown. I can see the total interactions handled by me and a breakdown, average handle time, and average wrap-up time. And again, this can be selected for all of the channels or a specific channel, or we can actually run it for set periods, whether that's going to be this week, last 7 days, months, so on and so forth. And this follows all the way through. So we got historic information about the agents. So all of these charts are interactive to provide you more information, and then obviously a granular drill down all the way through. So on the far right hand side, there's a drop down box where we've got more. So these are additional reports that are available to do without dialing, but traditionally or typically the agent will be looking at themselves to see how well they're doing, as well as maybe looking at the queue stats to see how things are panning out across all of the various channels and to see whether things are actually queuing up. So in this particular demo, we've actually got it integrated into the Webex Experience Manager. So this is an addition that you can add into the Webex Contact Center that provides you the voice of the customer. So this is where we can start looking at things like Net Promoter Score. We can start looking at sentiment we can start looking at CSAT. And again, this is one of the mega trends we see within contact centers of understanding the voice of the customer and then being able to provide an enhanced experience to ensure that we're covering off any of the negative feedback that we get as people start going through their journeys. And again, just to show that you can embed, and this is very customizable. The premise of this particular demo is we are a travel agency called Fly High Bookings, and then what we've actually done is we've provided a couple of or series of gadgets or capability embedded within the agent desktop that enables an agent to be able to see, in some cases, what the customer sees. So here we're seeing our website, we're seeing our Facebook feed. We can also look at things, very pertinent at this time of day with the current COVID situation, and us being a travel agency or a flight booking organization. We can actually log in to get stats on COVID, so we can have a understanding of where limitations may be on travel, all the way through to grouping a whole series of information. So on the right hand side, we're looking at the WHO Facebook timeline, looking at the WHO Twitter feed. We're looking at the CDC guidance for traveling to particular countries, as well as looking at a global reach and understanding of anywhere in the world that we may have some travel type restrictions. So simply going back to the home page puts us into a default setting where we're now waiting for the first interaction from a customer.
Thanks, Mark, and thanks to everyone for joining. I hope you found that very informative. As I said, we're going to be doing lots more of these videos, so please tune in for episode number 3, and we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.